Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Now with today's main headlines. Saudi Shi'i teenagers' family seeks US help to prevent death sentence. Imran Khan to be released from custody, court rules. UN experts appalled by Taliban announcement on capital punishment. World Health Organization ends global health emergency for Mpox. Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, this is Hussein Jawad. You are watching Shia Waves live from Imam Hussein TV 3 live from London. The family of Abdullah al-Darazi, a Saudi Shia teenager facing the death penalty over his participation in protests in the country's eastern Qataf province, is seeking help from the United States to intervene ahead of the upcoming ruling. Al-Darzari was arrested in 2014 for his involvement in the protest against the execution of Shia cleric Nimr al-Nimr, an alleged mistreatment of Shias in Saudi Arabia. He has faced the death penalty since 2018. A letter addressed to the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, seen by the Guardian newspaper, highlighted the family's belief that Saudi Arabia's government is deaf to our cries but will listen to you. The family is hoping that US intervention will help prevent al-Darazi from being executed and bring him home. According to the US Commission on International Religious Freedom, al-Darazi and another young Saudi man named Yusuf al-Manasif are currently detained by Saudi authorities for their participation in the protests. Both have allegedly been subjected to torture, solitary confinement, forced confessions, and limited access to legal counsel. Despite introducing the juvenile law over the past 5 years, which prevents the death penalty for minors and led to the release of several young men charged with protesting, Saudi Arabia still upholds the death penalty in certain circumstances involving minors. Al-Darazi and Al-Manafis cases are still under review by Saudi Arabia's Supreme Court, and if their sentences are upheld, they will be subject to immediate execution. Pakistan's ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan is to be freed from custody a day after the Supreme Court ruled his arrest on corruption charges was illegal. Judges have granted Khan bails for 2 weeks, meaning he cannot be re-arrested on those charges for at least another 2 weeks. However, Khan was told Pakistani journalists today in the courtroom, "I may be arrested again today." The 70-year-old's arrest escalated tensions between him and the military. Since being ousted less than 4 years into his term, he has become one of the military's most vocal critics, and analysts say the army's popularity has fallen. Khan is due to address the nation today after he leaves the court. Today, UN experts expressed alarm at a recent announcement by the de facto Supreme Court in Afghanistan, sanctioning the use of punishments including stoning, flogging and burying under a wall. Stoning people to death or burying them under a wall constitutes torture or other cruel, inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment. The experts have said these cruel punishments are contrary to the international law, both the International and Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhumane or Degrading Treatment or Punishment, to which Afghanistan is a state party, prohibit torture and other cruel, inhumane or degrading punishment. Afghanistan is also a state party to the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, which outlaws discrimination against women as well as prejudice and customary and all other practices which are based on the idea of the inferiority or the superiority of either of the sexes or stereotyped roles for men and women. The experts expressed serious concerns about the fairness of trials preceding corporal punishment and death sentences. International human rights laws prohibit such cruel sentences, in particular the death penalty, which follows trials without requisite fair trial guarantees, they have said. Let us remind our respected viewers of today's headlines. Saudi Shi'i teenager's family seeks US help to prevent death sentence. Imran Khan to be released from custody, court rules. UN experts appalled by Taliban announcement on capital punishment. The World Health Organization, WHO, ended yesterday, Thursday, the monkeypox outbreak as a global health emergency in the wake of dramatic drop in number of cases. In July 2022, WHO declared monkeypox, previously known as monkeypox, a public health emergency of worldwide concern and called for coordinated efforts to combat it. World Health Organization Director General called on world countries to maintain their testing capacity and ability to respond to future outbreaks in case of an emergence. And now we continue with some short news. On Thursday, the 11th of May, Hujjat Primary School in Harrow, London joined other schools around London by completing the TCS Mini London Marathon. The challenge is for children to run, jog, walk or wheel 1 mile in their schools to be part of a new Guinness World Records title attempt. Hujjat Primary School motivation behind the campaign is to inspire activity, especially within children regardless of their age or ability. They believe getting children active from a young age has many benefits, physically, mentally and psychologically. The event will be a fundraising event and all the donations will be used to support the school's ongoing development projects such as the playground, art and DT room, books, Islamic design projects and the science solarium. Hujjat Primary School is Harrow's first Muslim faith-free school which opened up in September 2020. Their vision is to create a happy and inclusive school grounded in Islamic values. The Italian authorities passed a legislation last week limiting the rights of migrants who attempt to reach its shores. The Human Rights Watch has said rights groups and organizations in Italy voiced their concern over the far-right government's use of extraordinary processes and the declaration of state of emergency earlier this month to respond to issues like migration. HRW warned that this new law will have a devastating impact on migrants' rights, including their ability to seek protection, access fair asylum procedures, and enjoy freedom of movement. It should be mentioned that recently hundreds of people who were attempting to reach Italy died as their boats sank off the Libyan coast. Glacier melting caused by climate change is jeopardizing the habitats of invertebrates in the European Alps. As a result, the invertebrates are expected to face consistent habitat losses. The situation is worsened by skiing, tourism, and hydroelectric plant development. Scientists predict that due to climate change, most rivers will become drier, flow slower, and become more stable, with periods and there is no water to flow. Additionally, most water in the alpine rivers will also be warmer in the future. Species affected most are expected to be the non-biting midges, while several others are predicted to benefit from the new situation. Other species would have to find refuge in new locations. The study concludes that the urgent global action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions is essential to limit the losses and protect these fragile ecosystems. Spanish academics who convert to Islam need to conceal their identity as Muslims to protect their careers. Lucy, who works in the field of international relations, has said on Thursday. Hurtado mentioned that the Spanish academics who were discovered to be Muslims were branded as traitors who betrayed their country. She said Spanish lecturers who are Muslims have also had great difficulty in applying to other universities. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our dear viewers of today's headlines. Saudi Shi'i teenager's family seeks US help to prevent death sentence. Imran Khan to be released from custody, court has ruled. UN experts appalled by Taliban's announcement on capital punishment. World Health Organization ends global health emergency for monkeypox. You can view the latest news on our Shia Waves website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published in our news agency. Contact us on the numbers at the bottom of the screen. Thank you very much for watching. This is the end of today's show. We pray to Allah Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
السلام عليك يا حجة الله في أرضه السلام عليك